H.M.S. New Zealand, one of the most famous battle cruisers ever built. Launched in 1911, commissioned in 1913, she goes for a world tour so she can visit New Zealand and picks up various items, including a Maori skirt, which is said as long as the captain wears in battle, she will never be sunk.
Kia ora koutou. I'm going to share with you this kaupapa today is about something or things that were actually put in place around about the late 1700s. I'm going to share this kaupapa because it's really important to us as Māori. These are safety mechanisms that our tupuna put in place a long time ago. They've always been there and they're actually still there for us as Māori to utilise. I'm going to go back to, as I said, the late 1700s, around the time that the whalers, sealers, traders began to come down past our back doorstep, Aotearoa. And if we just look at this map up here, all those countries were actually the countries that our tupuna used to trade with. And around that time, 1700s, it's not only important that this kōrero has been handed down by our tupuna, but it's also been very important that the written evidence and documentation has also been sourced. And so the early colonials, the wonderful thing is they wrote everything down. Everything that happened during a day, it was all written down as an entry of what actually happened and passed during that day. So the first colonial or missionary who was based here, Samuel Marsden, actually documented that ship repairs or shipbuilding began in the late 1700s, and the resources that were very important to them that they saw were our kauri, our kahikatea, our tōtara that made perfect ship masts for the shipping industry. Another resource that was important to them was our harakeke, because that made rope for the shipping industry as well. And where we are situated on this map, we are right at the very bottom. There was only two ways around the world, right around the top when the ice had melted, and around the bottom because there was no Suez Canal, there was no Panama Canal, and there was only right on past our doorstep. So that is why it was very important when they did come by, they saw our resources and began to stop off. In 1805, England won the Battle of Trafalgar, and England being right up the very top of the globe, we wonder how we had anything to do with it being right at the very bottom. But in actual fact, it is documented that our timbers, our native timbers, were used and as ship mast, built into the ship mast, and because they were tall, straight, they could pull their sails up higher, they outsailed the French and the Italian. From that point on, England became the mistress of the seas. And this whole thing is about trade. This whole relationship that our tupuna began with other countries around the world was about trade.
King Patatonga Tautari, an indigenous leader from the late 18th century. He is associated with a claim to the Parramatta area, which he supposedly was gifted for his trade activities with the Darug tribe. King Patatonga registered the Te Awaroa Native Reserve Bank in Sydney in 1808. 1778, Parramatta was gifted to Sovereign King Patatonga Tautari for his Kauri trade with the Darugal tribe.
Parramatta, where a group of Maori people are laying claim to a parcel of land in the heart of the city. They say the now valuable area was given to them by Aboriginal people 200 years ago, when they were first invited over from New Zealand.
The New South Wales settler government issued a Crown grant title in his name. He transferred his share of land under the Public Works Act, whereby accounts were set up, which are held today in the Treasury Bank, under the Consolidated Fund Act. The New South Wales settler government used the compounding interest from these accounts to develop the Parramatta lands, NSW, etc.